Good morning. Well, things are not off to a swimming start here this morning. I did have a neighbor come and pull the mower out of the creek for me last night. So that, I thought, was that. So I figured this morning I'm going to get off to a good start. I'll go up and mow the bee yard. All good. I started up the mower. It was at 65%. All good. I mowed a little where I was mowing yesterday without going anywhere near the creek. The power dropped down to 51%. No problem. That gives me plenty of time to do the bee yard, and I'll bring it back to the house to charge. I get halfway up to the bee yard, power drops to 0. If there is less than 4% charge on that, the mower does not move. So the mower is up on the hill by the bees, and I have no way to charge that without having the mower. I don't have an independent battery charger. You have to have them in the mower and plug the mower into the wall. So, and I can't get the mower back because I can't even push it. When it stops, it locks up and it doesn't go anywhere. I tried pushing it down the hill and it would not go. Mercury went retrograde 2 days ago, and it is proving itself to me with more force than I really am happy with. So it's very early, it's 7:15, but I'm gonna have to run to the Ace Hardware and see if I can get one of those individual battery pack chargers, charge them all up enough just to get it down the hill, and then go from there. But not how I wanted to start today, but we'll get through it. Looks like my outdoor window has closed. We're supposed to be getting rain off and on now for the rest of today and most of tomorrow as the remnants of Debby start moving through the area. So I'm not going to be doing any big projects outside. So what I am going to do is I'm going to work on some indoor projects. I've got those choke cherries that I need to turn into juice so I can turn them into jelly. And I'm going to start working on a project for the trees, and I'll show you that inside. This is my indoor project. I had this wire, this welded wire was left by the previous owners buried in the blackberry patch. So I've dug it out, and I want to use it to make guards around the trees. I want to put a couple of hazelnut trees, hello, goodbye, a couple of hazelnut trees in the chicken run so that they'll have long-term shade. We've talked before about how the one problem with that run is that there aren't any trees for shade. So I want to put a couple of those hazelnut trees in there, but I don't want the chickens to cut it off at the knees before it gets a chance to grow. So I'm going to cut these into a couple of rings that I can then put around where I'm going to put those trees, and they can grow and the chickens can't get at it. And we'll do something similar as well with chicken wire with some smaller stuff that I can build up a mound inside the wire and then plant on top. So any of the weeds and stuff that grow outside, the chickens can eat, and whatever I plant for permanent growth will come out the top. But, so I need to figure out how big I want the circumference of this to be, and then cut them to length. So 2 or 3 at least, but I may end up doing a whole bunch that I can put in the front pasture. I've got some 4-foot welded wire that I think I want to put around the chestnuts and the walnuts out by the road. But we're just going to see how much we can get with the wire that we have. These rolls go for $65, $70 for 50 feet. And I'm thinking these are going to be about 9 feet long. So like 3 feet across. But I'm going to use myself as the model. Oh, jeez, cat. He's not good at landing on my lap because he really wants to sit on my chest. So, show the people. Show the people how dumb you are. Yes, yes, don't bite my feet. Anyway, so I'm going to measure one of these out, and that'll be our model. And I've got these heavy-duty snips to cut them because the gauge on this is a lot heavier than the chicken wire, so my regular wire cutters aren't going to cut it. So let's get started on this. Alright, so that's not too bad. I got 5 7-foot wire cages out of that and 1 4-foot. And I'm not sure what I'll put this around. It might actually be pretty good for those hazels. But it might be fine for one of the chestnuts or walnuts because those are going to go more up where the hazels are going to spread a little more. So maybe I'll use this out there. But that's good to know. So I need 2 of these in the run and 4 of them. I can put on the apple trees out front. So that leaves me the 7 spots up in the orchard and what was it? 2, 4, 6 up on the road line. I do still have that 4-foot wire out in the shed that I can use. So I may not have to buy more than like 1 roll. And I'm glad to have, this is coated welded wire. You can see it's got that kind of green rubberized. So I'll be glad to have that in the run so that it's not as rough on the chickens. Not that they're going to care, but I might also use this for, cut it in half and use it for something smaller out there. But I can't do anything with it today because it's still coming down buckets. But that's that project. Let me show you the juice. So this is basically about 2 pounds of choke cherries and 2 cups of water. And now I'm going to cook this and keep mashing it until all of the pulp has released off the stone and all the juices come out that's going to. And then I'll cool it and strain it, and that juice is what I'll use to make whatever I'm going to make with it next, whether it's jelly or you can make a syrup or vinegar with it. Probably I'll stick with jelly because that's what I know the best. The tree that I just picked a week ago and was still half covered in fruit is now completely bare. So I can't get extra to expand on this. So this is all I'm going to have for this year. If I get a half pint or 2 out of it, that should be fine, just because then I'll know if I want to put the effort into doing it in future years. There is another choke cherry tree. Let me see. I don't know if I can show you very well. Here. Way out on the back corner of the property where the T-junction is on this side, there's another choke cherry tree. But again, it's probably too late in the season. That was actually ripening before the tree here. So I don't know that I'd be able to get any extra from there. But Saturday, when it stops raining, I'll go out and take a look and see what I can do. So I'm going to keep cooking this down. It's got about another 20 minutes or so. And we'll see what else we get up to. So there's the juice. I'm going to leave this to drain for a couple of hours. Because I didn't have the full amount of fruit, I'm not going to have the full amount of juice. Supposedly it's a cup of juice per pound of fruit. So, and most of the recipe, the jelly recipes I'm seeing call for 4 cups of juice. So I had about half. So I'll experiment with having the jelly recipe and see what comes out. Hopefully I'll get the 2 cups. Right now it's not looking like it, but that's why we're just going to leave it for a couple hours and let every last drop come out of that. You can also squeeze the cheesecloth to get more juice out. But if you want a clear jelly, they recommend not doing that. So I've just kind of been pressing on it. And I may put some weight on it, like a plate with some weights or something on it, to just slowly press out as much of the juice as we can get. But so this is not the jelly part is not a today project. Just getting the juice is the today project. The other thing I got, and I don't think I've shown you this yet, is my new hydrator, which is already hidden by all kinds of stuff. But this is a Magic Mill dehydrator. It's got 7 trays, and you can set it for as low as 95 degrees and as high as 175, and it'll go for, I think it's 36 hours. You can have it go longer than that, but the timer only goes that long, and then you're supposed to give it like a 20-minute break to cool down, and then you can start again. But, so my goals were to get blueberries on this, but that's not going to happen until at least Saturday. But I've got a bunch of zucchini, or not zucchini, summer squash that I'm not sure what to do with. I've already, well, you saw, I shredded all that zucchini, but now I've got all the summer squash. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to slice it and dehydrate it. Then when I want to make soups or ingredient recipes that have squash in them, I'm hoping that the squash will hold on to its shape and texture more, instead of just turning into mush. So I'm going to do a little cleanup here, and then I think I'm just going to start slicing zucchini, or slicing squash. That didn't take too long, about maybe 20 minutes to slice all that up. I still have 3 summer squash in the fridge and a couple of zucchinis and all kinds of stuff coming out of the garden. So I'll definitely do some more of this. I still have to package up the shredded stuff that I did the other day, but we'll do that at the same time we do this, which will not be today. But I think that's everything for today. So thanks for coming along on this dreary day. I'm not sure how much we'll get done tomorrow either. So if I don't see you tomorrow, have a great weekend, and I hope you come back and see what we get up to next. So, as you can see, Hurricane, I guess now tropical rainstorm Debby is here. And although it's finally starting to lighten off over there, that doesn't mean anything. It's been raining since about 2 o'clock this morning. And I think we're supposed to get a bit of a break. It's a little after 10 now, and I think we're supposed to get a break for an hour or two now. And then it's supposed to start up again around 12, 1 o'clock and go all afternoon. So I'm just kind of hanging out, working. I woke up with a horrible migraine this morning, So I've spent most of the day lying down because I didn't want to throw up. But as things start to settle out, I'm hoping to get a quick break to run out, check out the chickens. I also want to run down and check the creek. I think I mentioned before, I had a huge flooding event from the creek in December. I haven't had it since. I've had some overflow. In December, it came almost all the way up to the embankment. So I just want to get a sense of how high the creek is, because I can't see it from here, because all this growth is just hiding. I can't even tell there's a creek down there. So I'm hoping that this will stop long enough for me to check that out and check on the girls and see what else is going on. So the creek looks okay. The water's looking high, but it doesn't seem to be threatening the banks at all. It's wild coming down here. I haven't been down here since the spring. Certainly not in the lower pasture. And you almost get dizzy looking at it. It's so dense and green. And look at that apple tree. It's just absolutely loaded. I may be doing something interesting with those apples later in the season, but I'm going to keep that one a secret in case it doesn't come through. But so we've got a little break, but I don't expect it to last long. And we're supposed to be heading into thunderstorms. I know my friends further south have been getting tornado watches. So I'm kind of preparing myself for that. I'd left my good battery charger in the car, so that's why I came out actually, was to get that and my alpaca fleece. Yeah, it's starting up again already. Just because it's chilly in the house. It's so damp that the tea bag I left on the plate from last night is all fuzzy. So everything's just molding and mildewing, and it's not nice. But it's making me really wish I had my water catchment system set up. That's a next year project, but boy, with all this rain, I'd have 2 IBC totes filled in no time. All right, I'm gonna go back inside and get my lunch. My clue that the worst is over is when the chickens come out. So we've got a lot of water pooling up in various places on the property. That's where the chicken tractor was, so I'm very happy that they were in the coop for all of this. I've got treats for them, so let me feed them. Chick, chick, chicks. Chick, chick, chicks. That is a ridiculous amount of rain. So we got a little over 4 inches in, what, I guess it started raining about 2 o'clock this morning, and it's 4 o'clock now, so 14 hours. So that's a lot of rain. The garden's got to be overjoyed by it, but you can see the wind is doing a job on the cucumber stakes, so I'm going to have to go through and clean those up. I think the peas are all knocked over too. The tomatoes look terrible, but the tomatoes looked terrible before. I've got to fill the chickens' water and go through the squash and see what I've got there. And I don't know what else I need to look at. Everything else looks fine. Nothing, I don't see branches down. I don't see, the hives all look fine. I'm sure the bees have not gone anywhere today, although they might be starting to head out now. Although with this wind, I don't know what they're gonna do. But I'm not gonna linger out here too long because it is sprinkling again. But I'm gonna get these couple of chores done. This is probably gonna be it for today because it is supposed to rain again. But I think the worst of the storm is over, so we'll see what tomorrow brings. Tomorrow's Saturday. I've got a couple of yard sale events lined up, and I'm really regretting not having put those beets in because they would have all gotten watered in really nicely. I'm really happy for the hardwood trees that we put in the beginning of the week because they're all going to be well taken care of for a little while. But I will see you back here tomorrow.